It's another rainy day here in aquaponics land, and since I'm not going to be able to get really much construction done at all, I figured I'd make another grow bed. I'd gotten a delivery of 6 cubic yards of pea gravel, and I recently went to the salvage store and got these like heavy duty steel shelving that is nice and has these like reinforced channels welded onto it. This stuff is, I guess, what looks like it's about 8mm diameter steel. And I also had this giant billboard tarp. And this is what I ended up with eventually. But I'll show you how I made it. First I gotta make a level foundation, which I made out of a bunch of trash I had laying around, rocks, bricks, whatever, or anything repurposed, with a little bit of gravel in between. And got a bunch of old 2x4s that I had screwed and nailed together, just scrap wood to use for now, since I figure we'll probably rebuild this again at some point in the future. And then I went ahead and put my grates on there, lined them up there and secured them to the boards, tied them together, made them level. Then I put down tar paper and set up the metal fencing around it, and I secured the bottoms of it to the metal fencing, and then stopped and took a break and looked at the flowers. I put down the tar paper and laid in the billboard vinyl over it, sort of spread out the load, and let it start filling up a little bit. And started making the braces to go in and support the sides, which I made out of old wooden siding and U-bolts and eyelets, with the bottom secured through the loops and the top with steel cable going in between them. And it's doing a pretty good job of keeping the top from blowing out the sides. For a drain, I wanted to add a little bulkhead fitting, but I did it on the side instead of underneath it, right about a couple inches above the bottom. And what I did is I cut out a piece of plastic, like the FRP, fiberglass reinforced plastic they sell at plumbing stores, about the width of my hand, and glued that to the back of the tarp, and then I cut a hole through that to attach the bulkhead fitting to give it some reinforcement. I just used regular silicone glue, and then from there, adjusted to go down to the drain. Now this thing does leak a bit, so I wouldn't use it as like as a fish tank, but I'll probably actually do it, set it up as a flood and drain bed filled with gravel. And the dimensions are about 4 foot by 7.5 foot by 2 foot. That gives me about 60 cubic feet, which is 448 gallons or 1,700 liters thereabouts. Or that would be about what, 1,200 millimeters by 2,500 millimeters by about 600, more or less. The U-bolts are 1/4 inch. That's what, 6.3 millimeters, something like that, I think. And the eyelets up here were 3/16, which I guess is 4.7 millimeter. And this steel wire, this like fencing wire that I used here, I believe that's rough 10 gauge, or I don't know, let's say 2.5 millimeter diameter. So, and it seems to be doing pretty good. I can, wiggle it a little bit, but it stays put. Let's see. So, since it's 60 cubic foot, and if water is 62 pounds per cubic foot, and gravel is somewhere between 90 to 110, or pea gravel at least, between 90 to 110 pounds per cubic foot, then we're looking at in the neighborhood of 100 pounds per square foot, or 4.78 kilopascals pressure on the bottom liner. So that seems doable with what we've got. If it was filled to the max with gravel, assuming it's 100 pounds per cubic foot, we'd be looking at 6,000 pounds, and the voids between the gravel can hold up to a third, I think about up to a third the same volume of water. So we'll add in another 1,240 pounds of water for a grand total of 7,240 pounds of gravel and water, which is 3,300 kilograms, or 3.6 tons for you dump truck drivers. But right now it's only water, and so it's right around 3,720 pounds, or 1,700 kilograms. And it has no bowing, at least on the underside yet, which is what I was really worried about. And then my really janky foundation for it seems to be holding up even in the in the mud. So we'll see how well it works, and we'll see how well my back holds up after shoveling, what is it, shoveling 3 tons of gravel into this thing and loading it up with some plants. But I guess that's it for now.